all here, very excited. Sleepy, wake up, some good. Go ahead. Okay.
No, no.
You're all
This
part
is
of
more
it.
important.
No, no, it's gonna take a while. And just want to tell you, we're going to start off our trip on a good note, and we're very excited, and we're going to have a great time. And we're going to show you a little bit of what's going on this airplane that is chartered for us, and it's quite a different experience than going on a normal plane. So I can imagine that this whole trip will be quite an experience. Thank you for letting me speak, and whoever's listening to this, thank you for letting me and Jackie come on this trip.
All right. Good job. Thank you, man.
Hi.
Hello.
We're getting ready to get there.
Yes, 1 hour to go.
We actually made it with all our almost cancellations. We're here. We're excited.
Yes, and we're happy to have our cameraman on board. Without her, it would have been the same.
Yeah, we gotta make a copy of this. We're gonna put my order in. Joey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're almost in Israel, an hour away. So from now we're all going to talk Spanish now. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Hello. That's it.
Miguel, a shave, a haircut, a facial. It's okay, oh, that's it. Right away. Annie.
Airport. We'll be crossing the shoreline of northern part of River Atlit. Haifa will be seen clearly on the left-hand side. Thereafter, we complicated to explain to you, but we will make a second round.
Seated on the aircraft counter, complete stop, and please remember that smoking in or around the aircraft is not permitted. This being our flight to an end, trust you have enjoyed it, and we are looking forward to see you soon on one of our flights. On behalf of El Al, Israel Airlines and its crew, shalom, goodbye, and enjoy your stay in Israel, and everybody clapping hands now with the music.
Go that way, okay? It's gonna be easier, yeah. It's gonna be easier for you.
Then we're gonna take pictures. Jackie! Joey! Joey, turn around! Hey, we're here! Yeah, Anita, go!
All right, come on, let's go, come on.
Get Hans. Come on, here, Hans.
With the olive oil. I still keep my dreams because Livingstone said a person without dreams is like a bird without a wing. I'm very happy that our Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu came back from White Plantation with an agreement. Almost 80% of our people today are united in support of this agreement. We all pray, Shalom. We all pray that they will succeed to implement the agreement. There is no other way for the people of this area. We must live as neighbors. I believe with all my heart that one day we'll be able to look in the eyes of our children, the children of 73, and tell them we promised and we fulfilled. I believe that Israel will be even a more wonderful state, a state that will reward her children with love and tranquility, not only for her children, but for your children too. It is our state, it's your state. Welcome home. Toda, shalom, I love you.
Let's all collectively stop for a moment and thank Almighty God for the ground upon which we stand. As the plane came floating over Israel, comments around me were, there it is, Israel. It wasn't the mountains or the lakes or the rivers or the ocean, but the Holy Land that is named after the Jewish people.
Thank you.
It is by divine providence that during this period we read in the Torah about our ancestors. Only 3 men in history had the distinction of being called the fathers of Israel. Moses was a rabbi, David was a king, but Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were fathers. Abraham, in last week's portion, was told by God to walk the length and the breadth of the land. In walking the length and breadth of the land, he acquired it for us as children. In today's portion, today, Sunday, the section that we read is Abraham's purchase of the Machpelah grave in Hebron. And though they wanted to give it to him for free, he said, no, I want to purchase it. So there's an abstract of ownership, so that we know that the Jewish people have been given this holy land. Today, we stand all in a spiritual mode. Our plane that flew into this honorable space did not only fly on jet fuel, it flew on soul fuel. The plane was elevated by feelings, by spirituality, by connection to Almighty God. And so Almighty God bless each of us here, every person in the Holy Land, all of Israel's defense forces, every Jew all over the world, that we should find true peace and unity here in Israel, among Jews all over the world, and among all peoples all over the world. Shalom al Yisrael, Shalom al Ha'olam, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.
We'll be finished with the speeches in another couple hours. We're trying to kill some time here. We started out with our Yitzhak Perlman concert early in the year. We then had our marvelous birthday party at the Fontainebleau Hotel on April 30th. And of course, the June 7th event at Miami Beach Convention Center. This entire year was designed to culminate in what we consider to be the most important event of Israel 50, and that is our return to Israel. And when I say return, I mean return. Israel represents the soul of the Jewish people, the continuity of the Jewish people, the hope of the Jewish people. The dream of Israel has become a reality, a great Israel, an Israel that we could all identify with and be very, very, very proud of. And thank you for making Israel 50 so important to the leadership, to the community, and to all of you. I guess we're going to adjourn to the buses now.
This is a view from the Rimon Inn, from our hotel room in Svat. It's a beautiful little town. The history, we will find out today a lot more about its history. It's our room. Jackie's at Tushy. Hi, Jack.
Hi.
Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Hi, Cynthia. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good.
I got a bat mitzvah and a Shabbaton when I left. And Miles, my mother took him to a movie.
That's great. He fell asleep.
He fell asleep. I don't think they even know that I really left. Marcia Sussman's picking him up at 7:20 every morning, which they're not used to me getting up by 7:20. I'm going to call the
What
house
time do you go to Hill? Hi, everybody.
Where the green flag is over there, that's what we're doing.
Go in the picture. I already got it. Lisa.
Hi, neighbor.
Hi.
The wall is a straight line. Just to get the feeling of what's happening today in Svat. Because what we're doing now, we're going down to see what was. Let's move a little bit in. In the end of the British time, the British were stationed here, there is a police station. You can see like a type of a bunker or monument that is actually a fortification. It's a fortified spot to control the area. It was built by the British. I mean, in order to control between the Arab part and the Jewish part, which we are going to go down, being actually dividing the two parts. What happened as the British decided to leave, what happened was that they left most of their installations in the hands of the Arabs. And part of the events was always by the Jewish fighters was to take those installations back. And that was part of the problem in Svat also. People living next to each other, mingling with each other, the market was the same market, and here suddenly things are being separated and changed. And who is holding the most important strategic point? The Arabs. That was part of the event. We have to remember that the beginning of the 48 war is not organized by the Jordanian or by the Iraqian or by the nation, it's local Arabs. All the fighting is based on the local Arabs. So this is actually the area where it all started. I'm sure you have noticed all the faces that want to Iran. There's Ethiopian Jews, there are lots of Russian Jews and stuff that came on that. Take a picture up. I mean, I have to teach you how to take a picture. Teach everything.
Lenny, this is dividing airplanes. Take these pictures.
I think, excuse me.
The school spot. Hi.
A number of non-Jewish groups are coming here and playing also Jewish music. All the players are understand.
I don't understand by the whole fucking place. Here we are. Golden Heights. Where are we, in the Golden Heights?
Golan Heights.
Golan Heights.
Looking down at the Kinneret.
Looking down at the Kinneret. I just got my camera back. We misplaced it for a couple of hours.
Welcome back, camera.
And we're seeing the sunset. It's a beautiful time we're having.
There we go. Got the sunset going.
There's the Sea of Galilee.
Yeah. Sun is already set. Sun's already set. We're gonna have dinner down in Tiberias.
No,
Where
it's
we
at the Sea of Galilee.
and having dinner where are we having dinner?
At the Sea of Galilee.
There we go.
Okay.
צוחקים אלוהים, נוסעים, לא עושים, עוד נרד מהחסים.
שעונים בשמיים על המים, ההיסטוריה ברגליים. כי מאוחר, הכוח שבכל מותר. שלנו השירה, נקבל אותך, נקבל אותך. על כוס קפה.
זה יפה, וזה קומם, וזה בונה.
וגם את האוטו, ראית עם שבא לי.
לא מכיר ולא מאמין, לא חשוב רגיל, אני חי שם. זה לבית בגליל.
זה אדיר, זה לא רגיל, זה כל אדיר. קח מקל, קח תרמיל. בוא איתי אל הגליל. קח מקל, קח תרמיל. בוא איתי אל הגליל. קח מקל, קח תרמיל. בוא איתי אל הגליל. קח מקל, קח תרמיל. בוא איתי אל הגליל.
בוא איתי אל הגליל.
בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא איתי אל הגליל.
בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא איתי אל הגליל.
בוא נעבור בשביל בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא בליל ירח ונשאר עונה. בוא נעבור בשביל בוא איתי אל הגליל. בוא בליל ירח ונשאר עונה.
הדשא הצומח לא ברבע.
ומוריד ביחייה. כי הדשא כן, הדשא כאן, הדשא כאן, הדשא עד עולם. כן, הדשא. כאן הדשא עד עולם, כאן הדשא עד עולם. כי הרוח כן, הרוח כאן, הרוח כאן, הרוח חוזרות. כאן הרוח, כאן הרוח חוזרות, כאן הרוח חוזרות. כי השמש כן, השמש כאן, השמש כאן, השמש לא תחזיק.
כאן השמש.
כאן השמש.
עם הקר.
קח תרמיל.
בוא איתי אל הגליל.
בוא נלך אל הגליל.
Whatever. Are you sleeping already?
What we're doing now is also the only place that till 67 we were able to reach closer to the old city of Yerushalayim, so inside the walls. The gate of the man. Okay? Now what we're looking at all the way to the right is Har HaZeitim. Har HaZeitim, all the whitish tombs you can see. Again, a mountain that according to the agreement with the Jordanian were supposed to be able to use after 48 war, when the ceasefire agreement was taking place. Wasn't just they came Gamal. Gamal, camel. Gamal. Okay.
Yeah. Camel with celery in his pocket.
Okay, from here.
Here we are at the old city. Jackie!
Those Israelis go at it.
It's nice now.
Rabbi, our guide, he's writing a doctrine on whether Judaism is a nationality or religion. Sometimes you can.
Shalom, shalom. Hey guys. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Welcome to
Shalom. Hi. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
And Jackie's this.
Today is brand new. What I mean? Well, first of all, in terms of the history of Jerusalem, Jerusalem begins as a Jewish city already about 3,000 years ago, with, of course, David. This area, the area that we call the Jewish Quarter today, becomes part of the city of Jerusalem a little bit later, a few hundred years after David, probably around the time of the Assyrian. So I'm saying the Jews lived in this neighborhood for about the past 2,500 years. That's a pretty amazing statement. Now, take a look, obviously these buildings are not the 70s, because this is also a new neighborhood. 1948, Israel lost this area to the Jordanians. The quarter, the old city, and what became known as East Jerusalem. The Jordanians, during the 19-year period they controlled the area, they made a very clear statement. The intent to totally erase any Jewish connection to this neighborhood of the houses that were.
But the Federation goes
Yeah.
You're not going to go in?
המדריך שלו צריך ליצור את הוואוצ'ר.
רגע, זה לא זה?
יכול להיות שזה זה, אני לא יודע מה המלך קבע במדריך שלו.
אז כמה יש
Nita.
לכם פה?
אצלנו 28.
Hi.
Hey, going down to the elections. Tight.
Just watch your step when you're going down. Okay?
Mhm.
Want me to hold your hand?
That's okay, thank you.
Huh?
Sorry.
Beautiful, I know.
Jackie.
Pennsylvania without this one.
Video me a letter. It's on. I have so many letters to put in here. I forgot to bring them. Oh God, on video I said that. We'll be back.
Hello, Abe.
I'll bring them.
How you doing, Jackie?
Okay, okay. Lisa.
Tonight, 8:30, I show you. Standing in a moment, you see what you see.
Here we are.
Lisa. Joey!
Singing happy birthday.
esta muralla de acá, sino la segunda, la ven ahí.
Or marble? How are you? Oh, really? Marble, Saturnia, beautiful.
You pick up your hat first. Where's your hat?
There you go. Cindy, Natalie, you're in too.
A little hard on the lazy boys.
That's a talent on of the temple. Now the temple itself, again today, there are quite a number of discussions. Well, where was it? Historians, archaeologists, rabbinic figures, most would agree. We're talking about all the site where the gold dome sits today, or slightly to the north of it.
Cain received, God received Abel's offering, and he did not receive Cain's offering. It says that they went out into the field. Vayetzu basada, vayomer Cain el Hevel, and Cain said to Hevel, and then he killed her. It doesn't say what happened, what he said to him. It doesn't indicate what he said to him. The rabbis say what happened was that Cain and Abel had a conversation. The better, the worse stands out. So Maimonides says the Jew is the standard of the world. Nobody likes standards. So if you want to lower your standard, you'll be fine. But if you want to maintain the standard, because Hashem made you, so to speak, the guardian of the standards, that's the fact, that's who we are. That's the choice of the Jewish people.
Question, has any Jewish scholar studied the other possibility?
This is it. This is our tour, the best tour guide.
Going to the printing school.
Work here, see? The blue, the red, and the black, the yellow, and the black. In any case, what I'm trying to show you how the future that these children get here in the printing place. I mean, we have students that opened up shops throughout Israel. One of the nice things in this in Chabad, we're not trying to make everybody a rabbi. Not everybody could be a rabbi in Israel. Not everybody could be a lawyer or a doctor. But this is children that if not of the work that we do here for them, they would end up basically to be on the street.
Do they study just a particular thing? Like
No,
trade?
they study a trade and also study regular studies.
Okay.
And they have an opportunity to choose when they come in here what kind of trade they would like to do.
How many trades do you teach?
We teach a computer. We're working right now on a very big computer center where we're able to give a chance to allow more students to come in. The more advanced, sophisticated computer, which is the high tech, which is one of the most important things here today in our society. I will show you here, we're working, here we're getting, this is the preparation that we're doing.
Yeah. Lenny, you can do work.
Okay, let us continue. We have a bigger program.
Like that, they're all the same age. Are they all? Rabbi Lipsker. What's this? There's a bunch of kindergartens, not just one kindergarten. This one's ready, this one's ready. So, you like proud? Look, this one's learning. I gotta get the camera watching. Someone's crawling.
They all stay without crying? No. Is that a cry?
How old? Looking at you. How old?
איפה שעושים את הספורט?
Gymnastics?
גימנסטיק?
קודם הגעתם במקום הנכון?
כן, זה עכשיו
כן, למטה.
למטה? זה פתוח?
לא, זה בית-כנסת למטה.
כן, אבל איפה הגימנזיום? בסדר. איפה המזכירה?
הנה הדלת.
הדלת?
לא.
כאן.
כן.
Hi. Hi. I'm really sorry to just barge in on you. But,
No, turn it.
The situations, and in some situations bought the land of Israel. So it's ours from the beginning, and we're living it and learning it and seeing it. And what's really important is the people here who are inhabiting it, like Yutka and the rest of the people in Kfar Chabad. It's really wonderful to see. L'chaim to everybody, l'chaim for a beautiful lunch.
L'chaim.
Also, I just wanted to mention last night, the guy that was doing the panels, I think he was Russian, he was very hard-tested. I think, couldn't have too much interruptions. But people told me that they felt tremendous energy walking through that place. And of course, we're at the holiest place in the world. But we should know the Talmud tells us, and Maimonides writes it in his law, in his book of law, that the spot of the Mount Moriah is the same place that God took the dust in order to form man. It's the same place that Abraham brought his son for the Akedah. The Akedah was on top of that spot, exactly where we were. So we were in a place where some of the heaviest elements of all creation took place. The origin of man.
Is that the Garden of Eden?
No. The Garden of Eden is directly above it in a spiritual level. I don't mean spatially, but dimensionally. The origin of man is the origin of Abraham's total commitment to God in terms of the last test, the test of the Akedah. And it's a place that it says King David bought that land. King David did not just take it by conquering it, he purchased it from Araunah in order to make it public. That was public, it belonged to the whole Jewish community by purchasing it with public money. So again, it's interesting that the Torah would have in such an early position, the Torah would express to us the purchase of such life in the abstract of the Jewish story, of Jewish history. The Torah already indicates to us that belonged to us not only through inheritance, but also through purchase.
I also thought he was Russian. Yes.
הכללי שכל מי שנכנס לא חושב על מקלט, אלא חושב על משהו אחרי יותר נחמד שנעים. Okay.
So we try to use any possibility to use any place in school. So we
we divided here the center of computer center and library. So the class usually subdivided into two parts. And one part is working on computers, and at the same time, the second part, they are busy working the books.
גיא, בוא חמוד. גיא, אני רוצה גם הקטנים, יופי.
כן, בטח.
איגור, אתה מצלם אותם? את הקטנים?
Show yes, show yes.
I said, first of all, I asked him if he was married to her, and then I asked him if he was married.
איפה המתרגם שלכם? אני המתרגמת. Translated for the movie.
What'd she say? Honey, bring me one of these, two of these up. This is really
These are kamikazes.
Bernstein, and welcome to Orkiva.
built here, and in general, of course, the whole Yad Vashem, the Memorial Center. Man yid'u dor acharon, banim yivaledu, yakumu v'yisapru libnehem. And we're looking at what are we going to tell our children and the next generation that will be born and will arise and will tell their own children. So the idea is not for us only to tell our children, but for our children to continue on. Of course, if our children continue on, the next generation will continue on. And here we're coming to the, of course, there was always, Menachem Begin was always a path. Why do you mention all the time the Shoah? Every time he was talking, he was coming back to the Shoah. Every event, and he was always telling the people about, didn't have to give an excuse, but he said, I'm reminding ourselves, not for me and not for you, but for our children that are going to be born, because that's what we have to remember as a Jewish state, as a Jewish people, as a Jewish environment that we are in and all over the world. So the central city of Lamberg, but you see, the Hebrew and the Polish as well, or Lvov, I mean, it's different according to the spelling that we used to say it also in the language of the country that it comes from. And then all around you can see the different parts of the little settlements that were circling around Lamberg, which was a very big Jewish center with all others, villages or small towns were around.
I want you to take notice and tell you so that the last time we were here, Pesach time, it was Pesach's morning, and you had to read the Torah that morning, and every day of Pesach we pray the Musaf. The group that we were with were a group of assimilated Jews, and the most religious Jew in that group had just become a Baal Tshuva a few months earlier. Half of the group just so happened to partake in the group. And that morning, I didn't have a chance to finish my prayers.
Rules, and the Danish king was walking with a yellow badge, with a star, as part of his citizens, the Jews, but not only by that remark, what he did, and why the corner here for the Danish people, you can see a little flag, is not the regular names. The Danish people were very annoyed to have their name here, because they knew that the place here is dedicating villages, towns of Jews that were taken out, and they said, we, as a nation, stood against the Germans. Why do you put our name? And that's why we have a little flag telling the people who are standing here. We have the name of Oslo here, we have the name of Copenhagen on the side, but remember, the Danish people stood as a nation to help the Jews. And that's why we have a little flag here, which is dedicated to. Sweden was a neutral country. Sweden was not involved in the war. The Germans didn't take officially the Swedish. Denmark was part of it.
And after spending hours talking to him about different topics, subjects, and we became a little bit closer, he acquiesced and he came to the house for lunch. And at that time, we had about 9 rabbinical students also sitting around the table. And he told us the story, as I mentioned to you yesterday, of his father stretching out his hand, tried to shake his hand to make him promise that he would put on tefillin. His uncle pushing his hand down. He told us stories of how he was in a concentration camp, and on Passover, the only thing they would feed him was corn. So he went to the rabbi of the concentration camp, and he asked him permission if he was allowed to eat corn on Passover. And the rabbi started to cry. And this man sitting at our table started to cry. And he said, I'll never forgive myself for making that rabbi cry. And I said, the rabbi didn't cry because you asked him such a question. The rabbi cried and said, God, here in the concentration camp, look what this child is asking. He's not asking about eating pig. He's asking if you can eat corn on Passover. What a soul, what a Jewish people you have. He said, I never thought about it that way. He told us about when he stole a potato on Passover because he wouldn't eat the corn. And our Jewish couple grabbed a hold of him, caught him stealing the potato, and he says, I have to turn you in and you would die for this potato. He says, but I'll let you live. Don't do it again. And he continued to tell story after story about his tragic events and how he turned away his Jewishness. I said, as you tell this story, you're crying. Do you remember your father's soul? He says, I do. In my mind, I thought to myself, how can I, in some way, impact this Jew? And around the table, just as it was, I said it to him. I didn't think that it was anything more than a statement. I said, you know, it's time for you to give Hitler his final defeat. The fact that you're not putting on film, and the fact that you've thrown your Jewishness away, gives Hitler a posthumous victory. I said, I can't. I said, I understand what you're saying. I've thought about it, but I can't. So I stretched out my hand, and I said, remember that handshake with your father? I said, let's finish it. I said, make believe that your father's soul is trusting you, just for this afternoon, just for this moment. And we go back to your origin, and let's finish the handshake. Took a whole glass of whiskey, drank it down, couldn't drink it. Started to cry like a baby. Everybody was sitting around the table. And suddenly the guy lifts up his hand. This man is 70. He stretches his hand out to my hand. He grabs a hold of my hand. I felt electrified. My body was shaking. The whole room was shaking. Everybody around the table was shaking. I felt the man's soul was in me. I felt the man's hand shake as he grabbed my hand. He didn't say another word for the rest of the meal. The next morning, he came to shul and he put on his tefillin for the first time in his life. And he never stopped putting on tefillin. So we're standing here. We can stretch our hands over that part of history. Shake hands with all those handshakes that weren't finalized. And when we say the Tillin, dress yourselves in those souls, make it personal. Make the souls of all these cities, of all these towns, every single Jew in this Holocaust and all the Holocaust of history. I would like to volunteer to start the first song.
No, debería estar en todo. Sí. Espérate, 17.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's all right. As long as you made him well, we don't care how he got there.
Not totally.
This was the flu.
Way to bring it back to the light we are always looking for. And the idea that was brought here, the soul of a person, is like that light can be littered in happiness and be also very much in sorrow. And we have to find our way through.
B'tzeitcha me'eretz Mitzrayim is one of the commandments. One of the 613 commandments is to remember. However, very few of us know that the commandment Zachor is actually one of duplet mitzvot. It is actually two mitzvot, Zachor v'Shamor. We must remember to observe. But also in the Torah, the words to observe is not enough. Shamor, together we observe for the purpose of la'asoto, to create. Use their efforts to destroy, we must use our strength to rebuild.
I'd like to call on Rebbitzin Hannah Lipscomb.
I am going to read a passage from Blessed is the Match, a poem written by Hannah Senesh, the young kibbutznik who parachuted into Nazi-occupied Europe in 1944 to help save Hungarian Jews. She was captured and murdered. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the secret fastness of the heart. Blessed is the heart with strength to stop its beating for honor's sake. Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame.
Did the flowers cry? Did their petals fall? Did they live one day? Were they blown away? Were they there at all? Did the oceans roar? Did the trumpets call? Did they stop to pray on that godless day? Did they care at all? They were much too young. They were much too old, finding any trace, each remembered face, memories bought and sold, pictures without hope, families without names. Were we all too blind? Did we trust mankind? Do we share the blame? Did we not believe? Were we not afraid? Were there stories told of forgotten souls, of the price they paid? If the world had cried long before the tears, would they not have died? Would they still be here? And what of the children with hope in their eyes? Would they be masters or slaves? And what of the future, the truths and the lies? Would there be children to save? We must not forget. It has stained our lives. Were we blessed with time? Were we next in line? Why did we survive? If the world had cried long before the tears, would they not have died? Would they still be here?
Eretz Yisrael. Beautiful land.
בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. עוד תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה השולחן ואת יאור היום השמש במרום תגלה מרחב בו כל אדם חופשי בארץ זו לנצח נחלתי מתנת אלוה לעמי ואם לי לחום אלך ואת ארצי בלך גם בקץ המוות לא יירא ליבי שנובלים האישה, ההורים, החולים בשנתם התקווה העליונה לבנה שיר שאף איתך גבוה מלמד מסעך יהיה הלב אצלי שוב לדרכך
Sounds like some song you've heard before. It's just because we dream we live forevermore. Yes, and compassion, a bit old-fashioned perhaps, but it's a song that never ends. Making friends never ends. Let's go with your left. עם השיר הזה נשמע the song that became almost the anthem of Israel, Yom Shalom Hatikva. Thank you so much. All the best. God bless.
Folks, could you please take your passports out and have them in your little pen?
Okay, Jackie, you had a good time?
Oh, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Greatest time.
Okay.
Let me get the camera out to you.
Hello, Israel. We had a great time.
Yes. Eliyahu, say something.
See you in Miami.
Bye.
Hi.
Hello there, how are you?
Good.
This is Rick Moore reporting from the Jerusalem Hilton, where a group of Frum Jews, yes, you heard it correctly, Frum Jews went with the Jewish Federation on their historic Israel 50 mission.
Rick impacted the entire group of 400 people. Everyone will remember him, and he will continue to be an influence to everybody in the Miami community.
To my left and your right is the infamous David Wolf, the future president of the Federation of Miami, chair of many campaigns.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom,
All right, let's go. We're going. Goodbye.
Okay. I'm filming.
The red light is on.
You had a good time?
On the bus, on the bus.
We would get on the bus.
Oh man, what are you talking about? Okay. He's with the New Jersey mission. That's also at the Hilton. So she went for a tish last night.
Is she from
Mea
Australia?
Shearim.
Oh, from Australia.
But what would I do without you?
Itzy, where's your horn?
So did you explain them about that we have special docents for the exhibit so they can take their time and see the museum?
At the museum. They've spent a very special week. The museum was open especially for us. I mean, not only for the food and for the entertainment, but the museum physically is open.
Ronit always complains that it's a little bit too loud. But now, after I say happy birthday to Ronit, it's not loud anymore. And everybody can sing together with us. Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Venice, Hava, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Venice, Hava, Nagila, Hava, חשבתי שנבוא לי והגילה נגבה חשבתי שמצאתי בכל זאת אהבה אבל היא גבר בינוני שמאוד טלפוני מהצ'ינו ממוני מהר מאוד הבנתי שדרכי הנכונה חזרתי הגובלת ויאללה לשונה הרימו ידיים
many more times with her whole family.
Yes, we're coming back to see
Good.
you, okay?
Yes. That's the important thing, to
Yes.
come back.
Amen.
We're in a great tour I've been on a lot of missions with a lot of drivers, and we had the best driver with the best attitude that I've ever had.
You gotta comment on that backup. Did you see we
No,
pulled
the U-turns on the highway were better.
Everything. The best driving in Israel. And I've had a lot of tour guides and Yaakov. Hey, I'm still talking. I've had a lot of tour guides, and Yaakov really has been one of the best. So I want to thank them again for a great trip.
Thank you all on behalf of Itzik and myself. We appreciate your appreciation very much, and we're happy. And I just have to tell a little story now. About a driver.
Maybe Itzik has something to say. Itzik has something to say.
I heard this story. Thank you very much.
Itzik, I need to take a nap. Can you turn off the lights, please?
For those who were quite a number of times in Israel, maybe you heard the story. What happened?
The bus came very close.
David just gave the driver about
Yay, Itzik! You get that on video?
I don't know.
That's why you gotta wait to give him the gift until we get to the airport.
Okay. No. Listen to the story and then you know what you have to do.
Hey, Renee.
The story about...
Hey, Lisa.
About...
Turn slower.
About... You hear? A driver and a rabbi that after 120 were asked to go to heaven. And they came, in the hall of judgment. And the angels asked the rabbi, what did you do in life? He was studying, I was organizing my shuls, and I was preaching, and I was giving lectures at Shurim, and on and on and on and on. And really long Megillah. And the angels were looking at each other, and decided, okay, the decision was, you go to the right. What's the right? You go to the area where you actually have to think again about what you did. The rabbis were surprised a bit, but okay. And then the driver came in. And he was asked, what did you do in life? So I was taking people all over the country. I was driving up hills, down hills, all around. And the angels look at each other and say, you know what? You go to the place, to the heaven, to the better place. And the rabbi came to the angels and said, excuse me. I believe that the driver is some spuyot, but still, I did so much in my life, I did so many things. What's the difference? No, what do you explain? What's the explanation? And the angel looked at the rabbi and said, you know what? When you were giving your lectures and you were preaching and you were talking, everyone fell asleep. But when the driver was driving, everyone was so much awake in order to pray to Hashem to make sure that nothing will happen with the driver. So we're talking about the driver. And you know that. Why didn't you tell me you know the story? You wanted my version. Okay.
Very nice.
That's what I said. If you were in Israel, you heard it already. Stop. Okay. At least you heard the same.
Bye, Bruce. Bye, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
Bruce, later on.
Feel good.
Sei gesinnt. God bless.
Nice meeting you.
God bless.
Have a good trip back.
See you later, Bruce. Thank you very much.
See you, Bruce. Good trip.
I know.
Just go home safely.
Next mission, we go together again.
Okay, everybody.
See a lot of the guys on Shabbos,
Honey,
David.
you're staying on the bus, honey.
I'm staying on the bus.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
stay.
Take care, all the best. Thank you very much.
Be safe, relaxing.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Wendy.
What happened, James?
About this trip on Shabbos.
Some other people.
We were on this trip.
So you took your work to
a better time next Shabbos on this trip.
We went on.
Listen, we said we all gonna sit in the same place. We're gonna be screaming when you tell the
I
stories.
walked back there, and I was telling Charles when he got up to the Torah, I told Norman, I said, look out the window. Curva there.
You see
I said,
REC,
imagine the juxtaposition of standing with the Torah, saying a blessing, and looking out at the destruction of Jerusalem. I said, imagine our eternal condition. And I saw the tears in his eyes, and it impacted him because he mentioned that story.
Yeah.
He didn't say the word Curva.
You freaked them out.
But
I
let me
think
tell you
they
something.
should dedicate the Kiddush to us this week.
Okay, we got that on tape.
What do you
Hey,
mean?
yeah, right.
I was going to do a
What do you
January
mean?
before.
What do you mean?
So I have one question. You get over the top. We're over the top already. No question. Let me tell you, we got over the top where the entire federation heard a credibilization of Torah Jewishness from their top guy tonight.
Yep.
Total credibilization of Jewishness.
Total.
Which you can't expect. You're not going to get any more than that.
Staying on 4 days.
This is what happens. This is what happens on the Shabbos. Wait. Rashi. Onkelos. Now I became Onkelos.
Tomorrow.
Hey, Rabbi, but is it in fact pull that off?
Everybody's got to be in shul this Shabbos.
With his wife.
Yeah, you can bring it with the kids.
Let's get. Yeah, you dare say no on that. Look, over the top.
Rabbi Lipsker, was it indeed, in fact, a historical?
Was it indeed, in fact?
In other words, was it really such a remarkable thing?
You always have to talk while you're looking into it.
He said it was the first time ever the Orthodox went on a trip. Is that true?
Well, let me tell you, the historical aspect about it is the fact that on this trip, there were what you might call heretofore factions in the Jewish community that did not look at each other in the right way. This trip, everybody on the trip felt like family. It was like one big family that, with people with different
And he said the
perspectives.
key at the end, to wrap it all up, which was perfect after he spoke about it, that this community should be the paradigm to bring Orthodox, Reform,
He said
Conservative
instead
together.
no, he said stronger words. He said, we didn't only gain from Israel. Israel should learn from us.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
That's true.
That was top powerful.
But we were still separated. That was
And then when he said that, then
Yeah,
that
that
feeling,
brought it all together.
that feeling dissipated.
Yeah.
But
And
Rabbi,
then when he mentioned all the other rabbis, it dissipated even more.
Rabbi, he said something. No, Rabbi, he said one thing that was interesting. He said that he chose to go with you.
Yes.
Right. He did make a point of saying that. Thank you, Connie. This is my people.
You guys,
It's really close.
you're not going to be able to even watch this video. You're
You know
gonna
how
get
you know
dizzy.
that?
I know, you're going to get sick watching the
But you
video.
want to know something? You know how you know that the man was totally impacted, and he is a good, he's a good weather gauge. What is it called? The weather vane for the community. Is because he told the detail of he wanted to make it a surprise. And
I know, he told Connie.
I mean, what are you
He
talking
told it the way you would tell it. That's why he told it the way you would tell it. You know, with all the details in it.
Yeah, I thought he was going to mention me and you, Eric. But he didn't know our name. It was me, Eric, and Connie, and he said, you guys don't tell, but he doesn't know our name.
Connie's more important than you guys.
You know what? It's a shame I didn't spill grease on him. He would have actually.
Next time.
Listen, invite him to your house for Shabbos. He'll smell plenty on
No,
it.
what you got to do is you got to walk around with a little can of grease in your pocket.
chicken back.
But
For me, the highlight was
I think-
Gershon and his...
let me tell you something else.
back there.
The little guy.
Brian Cutler.
Are you sure it wasn't the guy in shoes today?
I want to tell you another comment. Brian Cutler said to me that over the trip, people were talking about the fact that our bus was on this trip because they've been on many missions. They've been leaders on many missions. They've never had, quote, what they call he called a religious bus. He said, and they've been talking about it. Today, he said they really talked about it because
His
last
bus?
night, his bus. And he said, and also the leadership because we're talking about it. And he said, especially after last night, they really talked about it because they never had that kind of a Jewish spirit, you know. They were having cheers for the Dolphins, but not, you know, cheers for Hashem, so to speak. And he said that it was that the impact, the dimension that we brought to the whole process, the interaction, the camaraderie. He said that they talked it among themselves was incredible. And the fact of the matter is that the Rebbe said at a shul, the Rebbe said to me when I came to Miami, when actually not when I came, in 1981, excuse me, in 1975, the Rebbe said, Miami, these are the words, Miami is not only Miami. Miami is all of Central South America, the 50 states, Canada, Europe, and the rest of the world. People come here from all over. He said, what you need to do is consider everything you do as a pilot project. The Rebbe used the word pilot project. So that everything you do can be easily emulated by other communities when people come and see what you've done here. So we need to be the pioneers, and we have to set the agenda. So like in everything, you know, in this area, you know, we took a step out there, and the fact of the matter is, as I mentioned, a lot of young Lubavitcher rabbis now, because we did it. That's why Rabbi Nu came on this trip. Rabbi Chanukah from Fort Worth now is on a small communities mission, and I've gotten calls.
Jackie!